My name is Samuel Clemens, and I'm going to draw my life and show you how it influenced my writing. I was born on November 30th, 1835, in a small town called Florida, Missouri. I was the sixth child of John and Jane Clemens, and little did they know that I would grow up to write one of the most influential and controversial books in the history of literature. When I was 4 years old, my family decided it was time for a change. Florida was a little small, so we decided to pack up and move our family to the town of Hannibal, Missouri, which is close to Florida, but it's a bit bigger. At that time, it was common to have slaves. In fact, it was weird if you didn't own a slave. So when we lived in Hannibal, our family bought a little slave boy. We took him away from his friends and family, so he was kind of sad, but he tried to cover up that sadness. He spent most of his time whistling and singing, and also laughing, and I found it really annoying. He was really loud and really obnoxious. So one day, I just couldn't take it anymore, and I went to my mom, and I complained to her, and I asked her, "Will you please just shut him up?" Now, I'll never forget what she told me after that. It was a small speech, but it really made an impact on the way that I felt about slavery. She said, "Poor thing, when he sings, it shows he is not remembering. That comforts me. But when he is still, I am afraid he is thinking, and I cannot bear it. He will never see his mother again. If he can sing, I must not hinder it, but be thankful for it." It's my mom who shaped my views on slavery, and I can't begin expressing how grateful I am for that. Thanks, Mom. My dad worked all the time. He always wanted to become rich. He was a storekeeper, a lawyer, and a judge. But he never laughed. In fact, I don't think I ever even saw him smile. My mom, on the other hand, was the polar opposite of my dad. She was happy all the time, and she loved telling us stories. Hannibal was a great place to grow up, but when I lived there, I witnessed death 2 times. Once was when I was 9 years old. I saw a local man murder a cattle rancher, and the second time was when I was 10. I watched a slave die after a white overseer struck him with a piece of iron. I didn't understand what those people did to deserve to die, and I didn't think it was fair either. In 1847, my dad died unexpectedly. Now, my family didn't know what to do, since now we had no way of making money. My mom had to raise multiple kids by herself, and she definitely didn't have the money to support all of us. I decided to drop out of school to help my family out, and I got a job at the Hannibal Western Union, a little newspaper that was owned by my brother. Although I was just a printer, I didn't do much writing. This job as a printer went on until I was 21, but I got really tired of it, so I decided to go and chase my dreams. I learned how to pilot a steamboat on the Mississippi River. This job was perfect for me. I was always adventurous as a child, and this job gave me the freedom to explore, and I loved it. It gave me a high status, and it seemed like everyone knew and loved me. My adventure came to an end in 1861 with the outbreak of the Civil War. It halted most civilian traffic on the water. I decided to join the Confederate Army, but I only ended up serving for about 2 weeks. After my service was over, I didn't know what to do or where to go. I didn't have any plans, so I decided to head out west. to Nevada and California. I really needed a job, so I went to work as a reporter for the Virginia City Territorial Enterprise. I wrote with the pen name of Mark Twain, meaning 12 feet of water in steamboat slang. This was the beginning of my writing career. I decided to write The Adventures of Tom Sawyer to bring back my childhood. Soon after, I wrote The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Huckleberry Finn is based off of a bunch of things that happened in my life. Huck's dad is similar to my dad in that he's never happy and is always wanting more. Since I was a steamboat pilot, I had knowledge about the Mississippi River, and I based most of Huck's adventures around it. Huck is like me in many ways. Huck is very adventurous, and since I loved sailing the Mississippi so much, I wanted Huck to have that adventure too. Also, I portrayed my conflicted views on slavery through Huck. I was never for slavery, but as a kid, I didn't know how to feel about it since it seemed like I was the only one who didn't think it was okay. And that's how Huck feels. He doesn't know what to think since he doesn't think it's okay, but all the adults around him are telling him that that's the right thing. In the novel, most of the small towns on the Mississippi River are based off of Hannibal, the town that I grew up in. I do not regret my life one bit, because without it, the book Huckleberry Finn wouldn't even exist. And that's my life story. The end.